Welcome back to day 6. Today we're doing a short stage, a 22-kilometer day from Ázqueta to Torres del Rio. After walking an extra 7.5 kilometers yesterday, today is going to be a shorter stage than it was supposed to. You can also stay in the town up ahead, Los Arcos, which is a major town. But I decided to continue on with my 22-kilometer day. Today is going to be exposed terrain for the majority of the day. We're only going by 2 towns. So very little pilgrim support, a few water fountains along the way. So today you have to bring in some water with you. There's a food truck where I had some orange juice and a few surprises. Yesterday I jumped the gun and I said that today I was going to get to Logroño, but that is not the case. That is actually going to be tomorrow. So that will complete the first week on the Camino de Santiago. This will be a stage that you can do if you only have a limited time, and it's a great one. Tomorrow we also get to La Rioja, new province, new region, new landscape, new everything. But before we go into today's stage, let's go over the Camino de Santiago as a whole, so that by the time you guys get to Saint Jean-Pied-de-Port, you know this like the back of your hands. As we already found out, the Camino de Santiago is about 750 kilometers long from Saint Jean-Pied-de-Port all the way to Santiago de Compostela. You can keep walking to the end of the world, as a lot of pilgrims do, and I did, and I highly recommend you do the same. We're going through different provinces, starting in France, and then we get into Navarra, followed by La Rioja, Castilla y León, and finally Galicia. These are the major cities that you're going to see along the way, starting with Pamplona, Logroño, Burgos, León, Ponferrada, Sarria to Santiago is the last 100 kilometers, and this is the section that a lot of people decide to do. It takes about a week or so, and it's what you need to walk if you want to get yourself a Compostela. As promised, it's going to be a short day going downhill for 22 kilometers. Here is the elevation profile. As I mentioned, you're going from Ázqueta to Torres del Rio through a few towns along the way. The first one is Villamayor de Manjarín. And then there's a long stretch here where you're walking in between these 2 mountain ranges to Los Arcos. You go over a small pass, but it's there. And then continue on exposed terrain under the scorching sun, in my case, to Torres del Rio. Great night's sleep last night after walking a stage and a half. I have my very own bed. I got nothing against bunk beds, but after you spend a few nights sleeping in crowded albergues, if you get a chance to sleep in your own bed, it is much appreciated. Woke up at 6:30 in the morning, and quickly at 6:51 I decided to have breakfast. I had already prepaid for it the night before. Café con leche and toast for breakfast, and I had amazing company. I was out the door at 7:20 a.m. I was looking at a 22-kilometer day ahead of me, downhill to Torres del Rio. I was walking by endless agricultural fields of wheatgrass. You could see the hills in the distance. You could see the fog. It was very cold morning. But as the day progressed, it started to warm up, and around noon, it was cooking, man. 7:43 in the morning when I made it to Fuente de los Moros. I was flying the drone, getting some shots here. This is a medieval fountain that is on top of a natural spring, and it dates back to the 11th century. I was running low on cash, and as you guys know, the Camino de Santiago is a cash economy, especially when you're in between the major cities. I like to pass by ATMs and take out the maximum allowance that I think is around 300 euros. And I highly recommend you take a few coins with you, at least 2 or 3 euros worth of coins, and the rest in small bills. When it comes to using a credit card, I never got a chance to do so. Most of the albergues only accept cash, as do bars and maybe at a supermarket, but I will stick to cash. Take enough cash with you to last you in between the stages where you are in between the large city. And don't overdo it in case somebody breaks into your backpack at the albergue. You know, it won't break the bank. By the way, if you click below in the video's description, there's going to be the daily cost breakdown. I will do that in every single video, in the vlog, and also in this series. Guys, if you have any questions that you want me to answer, just ask away in the comments down below, and I'll pick the top I don't know, 4 or 5 questions, and I'll answer them in next week's video. I flew my drone to the ruins of El Castillo de San Esteban de Dello at 890 meters of elevation. This is one of the top 5 drone shots that I got on the entire Camino. And I don't know if you could probably walk all the way up there, but it's going to be quite the climb. I'm sure that the views are going to be breathtaking in every direction. Walked into the town of Villamayor de Monjardin at 8 in the morning. I was looking for that ATM, but did not find anything. I did find a church, and I was soon out of the town, walking by the vineyards and the fields of yellow flowers. I followed the yellow arrows by the shade right next to the tree line, and down the road I saw a water fountain, and also where the two paths meet. 9 kilometers to Los Arcos. This was the 25% of the way already done. Continue on walking with all the pilgrims, and I bump into 2 retired Spaniards that are walking just a small stage. They do it every year. They do it stage by stage, which some people do. Not everybody has the time to do the entire Camino in one go. 9:26 in the morning, and I stopped by a food truck with my 2 Spaniard friends, and I enjoyed a freshly squeezed orange juice by the shade with amazing views. It was starting to get hot, so I decided to continue on walking by my own. I walked past one of those shoes that they put on top of the stone markers, and I also saw a Buen Camino sign on the floor. Getting closer and closer to the pass, I was walking by right next to the mountain. It was 10:14 in the morning. Left the fields and entered like a wooden area. There's a rest area over here. Walked over a bridge. I was already at the halfway point of the day, and it was only 10 in the morning. But I continued on walking, started to climb slowly, nothing too bad. Made my way past a huge haystack, kind of like the one that you saw in the movie The Way. I also saw a few of these in France when I was walking the Via Francigena. And this is a great place if you want to stop by the shade. But that was not the case for me. I continue on walking. And from here, we're walking all the way down, descending into Los Arcos. Made it there at 10:52 in the morning. There was a bar in the corner there. There was also a sign with all the amenities that Los Arcos has to offer you. And there was also some farm animals that I was just joking around, like kind of like asking the horse if there was an ATM in town. I bought a Spanish omelette pincho for lunch at a bar, and I used the last euros that I had. So now I was desperately in need of finding an ATM. 11:10 in the morning when I stopped by La Iglesia de Santa Maria de los Arcos. This is where I stopped at a bench and I had lunch. I took off the leggings from my pants, so I turned my pants into shorts. Reapply sunscreen to my face. Also took off my shoes, my socks, let them air out a little bit. I actually took some water from a water fountain right next to me. Put some water on my feet, let them air out. Then I cover all the hot spots with Band-Aids and added Vaseline. I saw the couple that had the dog walk past me for the last time on the trip. And I decided to look on my phone in Google Maps for an ATM. And it just so happens that there was a bank a couple of blocks away. And I was able to take out some cash. Guys, let me take this opportunity to thank you for your support. For all the members that have joined recently, and for the old ones as well, thank you so much. You guys are making all these videos possible. Just waiting for this pandemic to blow over so I can just head back out into the Camino. 11:30 in the morning, and I left Los Arcos by going on the Portal del Castilla, crossed the bridge, and I was by the municipal albergue. There's also a library here and some works of art in the front in the yard. Then passed by a local cemetery from 1849 and a small chapel as well. I was out in exposed fields with not a single shade in sight. I kept walking, following all the pilgrims. I remember I saw a couple of groups every now and then. And I did find eventually just like a little tree that gave me some shade where I could take a little break from the scorching sun. Nothing behind me, nothing in front of me as far as the eyes could see. But I continue on walking. It was 12:36 and I kept seeing red flowers, red poppy flowers, wheat fields, vines. I was already by the 75% of the way. Walked past a few rest areas like this one, but I continue on. I saw people stopping, having lunch. And not far from there, I tried my luck at those rock stacking piles that you see along the way. They're everywhere. And I failed miserably. But I promise that I will get better as the days go on. Saw a pilgrim here under the shade, just taking a break, having a snack. And this is where I left like the country roads behind, and I enter a paved road, just a secondary backcountry road, not a lot of traffic. Just remember seeing like a cyclist pass by. Extremely hot already. I could see the town in the distance, so I decided to get a few shots with the drone and check out how exposed I was in this landscape. Made it to Sansol at 1:20 in the afternoon. I could see the church in the distance atop the hill, atop the town. Saw a few albergues, but I continue on to the next one, to Torres del Rio, which, by the way, is like 20 minutes from here, so not too bad. And you're just walking downhill for the last stretch into the town. Got to the bridge, Puente Rio Linares. I saw an information deck here and decided to go into the town. The first albergue that I saw was massive, modern. There was nobody there, so I continue on. And at 1:50, I made it to Albergue Casa Mariela. This is where I checked in. And the second floor, I had a snack. I took off all my clothes, took my shower. And then at 2:36, I went to the first albergue, and I paid 10 euros to get in the pool. The water was freezing cold. And it was an extremely hot day, so I just took a nosedive in that water. I remember seeing a guy from the U.S., from Chicago, I believe he's from, and he's a doctor. And I will get to walk with him for a quick section tomorrow, and he's going to tell me all about his life story. Met the other two Spaniards when I got back to the albergue, and at 5:35 in the afternoon, I went to Iglesia del Santo Sepulcro. This is where I got a stamp. This church also has an octagonal shape, kind of like the one we saw when we were getting to Puente La Reina a couple of days ago. And would you believe it, I also saw an ATM not far from here. So in case you missed the one in Los Arcos, you can also get some cash in this town. I was surprised because this was a small village. 7:30 in the evening, and I decided to head out and get something to eat for dinner, and I went to a place where we all gathered. We had a massive pilgrim meal with people from all over the place. I remember talking to some guy from Germany, from Spain, and also from Italy. 8:44 in the evening, I decided to head back to the bridge and get a couple of shots from there. I think this was like the latest that I recorded in the entire trip. The light was already almost gone. And I got a couple of shots from the churches in Sansol and also in Torres del Rio. And I got a couple of shots of me sitting on the bridge. I found a spider, like a toy spider, not far from here by a water fountain. And this spider, I was going to use it from now on. I would just put it in my backpack on the top level, just in case somebody decided to stick their hands in my backpack. That was going to be my security system. So guys, that was the end of day 6. 22-kilometer day. Tomorrow I finally get to Logroño. My legs were killing me, and I will take a rest day, much deserved rest day there. Logroño, just like Pamplona, Burgos, and León, is a town that is easily accessible by train, buses, and even airplanes. So it is good if you want to end your trip here. You can fly back home, or you can fly in and start the trip from Logroño all the way to Burgos. We're going to start to get into La Meseta, a section of the trip. A lot of people skip, and I highly recommend it. It is a treadmill, but it's a good one. So guys, I guess I'll see you on the next video.